Hello, my fellow breakaway thinkers, what I call my breakaway thinker family. Thank you for coming in, watching another video. It's another lovely day. We are grateful to the Most High, to God, to Source, to the universe, whatever term you want to use for another amazing day today. I wish you well in all your ways. Everything that you desire in your heart and in your spirit, that it will be granted unto you. I wish this for myself and I wish this for everybody. All right. So what are we talking about today? Today, the topic is about pedestals. The idea of people placing things and placing other people on pedestals. So that is what we are going to attempt to break away from today, is pedestals. I'm speaking about this topic because we, as a society, I think and also feel like we tend to place lots of things above us, right? We are conditioned from a very young age to always look outside of ourselves, to always look to others or other things for, I wouldn't say inspiration, but look to those things and those people for an idea of what we should be like, an idea of how we should think, an idea of how we should see the world, an idea of what we should strive for, right? And in a way, when we are told to look outside of ourselves constantly, right, and don't look within, we, as a result, end up placing things on pedestals, right? Especially when it comes to people. This whole celebrity culture and all of that, right? Which I think is starting to kind of wane, by the way. And it's good because we are evolving as a species. Our consciousness is expanding so much so that people are starting to realize that the idea of idolizing somebody else is actually a not only non-productive, but it's an admission to yourself and to that person that you idolize, that you don't value yourself. And I think that is something that, whether people may realize that or not, I think that is a realization that is coming slowly. The idea of the celebrity person who is like the superstar and makes all the money and therefore we should look to them, it still exists, but it's starting to slowly wane down, right? It's starting to dissipate a little bit, because people are starting to realize that, hey, I am of value too, right? I am an unlimited being, which we all are, by the way. Unlimited beings created in the image and likeness of the Most High, of Source, of the universe, of whatever word you want to use, God, right? And if we are made in the image of the Supreme Being, right? If we are made in the image of that Supreme Being, and that Supreme Being is limitless, then we also are limitless, right? The only difference between us and those celebrities is that they have managed to tap into their greatness and are being able to manifest the life that they desire. That is the only difference between us and those people. They aren't any better than we are. They aren't any more intelligence or anything like that. The only difference is that they found a way, whether it's through knowledge, through people that they associate with, right, through tapping into their own consciousness, they found a way to step into their greatness as people, right? And we idolize that, and I can understand why we do, right? Because we almost look at them as like superhuman. We do this with celebrities as far as performers, musicians, actors, athletes, all that, right? Because yes, I mean, they do amazing, especially on the athletic side. They do amazing things. They're not superhuman, by the way, because we all have those abilities within us. But they are amazing things that most people, would perceive as impossible to do, right? So when we are doing that, right, when we are pedestalizing people, placing people on a certain level that is way above us, and we see it as impossible to reach, right? We are admitting to ourselves, whether we realize it or not, that we are not worthy, that we don't believe that we have what it takes to be the best versions of ourselves, right? And I think it is time to deconstruct. I think it is time to break away from that sort of thinking. Now, it's one thing to appreciate people, right? It's one thing to value what they bring. It's one thing to be inspired by people, but placing them on a pedestal and almost idolizing them is not productive. I think we are past that point, as far as our consciousness collectively as a human race. We are getting past that point where we are always continuing to look outside of ourselves for validation, look outside of ourselves for confidence, look outside of ourselves for assurance. Now, when I say that we're past that, it doesn't mean that it's not still happening. Obviously, it is. Obviously, we still have celebrities who are adored and all of that. It's still a thing, right? But collectively, we are starting to get away from that slowly. And I generally believe that that's a good thing. That is a good thing. There's, celebrity obsession, it needs to go. It really does need to go, because, having human beings idolize. We weren't brought here to idolize anything, right? And this is not just in the celebrity, it's religion, it's politics, anything. We are not here on this earth to idolize anything or anyone. We are here to step into our greatness, to bring out the gifts that we have within us, right? And let it shine and let that be known to the world. Bring what it is that we are brought here to do, right? Which is our purpose, right? Bring that into fruition on this earth. Now we can respect and we can acknowledge each other's greatness, and I think that's good, right? But the idea that we're placing certain things above us and looking at it as, basically having a sense of worthiness, right? A sense of value, right? Being gained from something outside of us, that is not productive. And that has to go, in my opinion. And we're starting to see it slowly. It's happening slowly, but we're starting to see it slowly disappear. More and more people are starting to realize that they have value in and of themselves just as they are, right? That all these other things that we associate with greatness and grandeur and all these things, that they're not really the real version of us, right? Those are just extensions of who we are, but the true us is adequate without any of that stuff, right? So instead of placing other things and other people in pedestals, well, maybe it's time to place our own selves on pedestals, right? And when I say that, I'm not saying going around and be arrogant, and acting like we're all that, and even that whole concept of arrogance, that's something that needs to be, redefined as well, because certain people, it's all perception, right? Some people perceive somebody who is very confident in themselves as arrogance, which is not, right? So that's a whole nother thing too that needs to be re-examined. Maybe I'll do a video on that one day, but maybe it's time to start putting ourselves on pedestals. Time to start. I don't want to use the word idolize, but starting to start loving ourselves, right? Just as much as we put love and energy into these other people, these celebrities and athletes and all that. It reminds me, speaking of athletes, there was a time in my life where I used to, I'm a soccer fan. I'm an Arsenal fan. So anybody who knows what that's all, who knows who Arsenal is, or who's into soccer, you know what I'm talking about. Shout out to all the soccer fans out there that are watching. But anyway, so I'm a soccer fan, or football. Let's call it that. I'm a football fan, the real football, by the way. Anyway, so yeah, I support Arsenal. Right? There used to be a time in my life where I would get upset, right? My day would be ruined because my team lost, right? And it got to a time where I started to ask myself, like, why? Why am I allowing, something like that to have that much power over me? You know, that the fact that, some athletes, which I'm not discrediting them or anything, right? But athletes, kicking a ball around and stuff is literally ruining my day just because they lost the game. I had to ask myself the question. It's like, why do I even feel this way? You know, and over time, I ended up letting that go. I mean, now if I get a chance to watch the game, whatever, I'll watch it. If they lose, okay, it's not the end of the world. But we have people that are feel very strongly about this. I'm talking, they'll go hurt somebody if their team lost, type of, and it's like, why? Why are we idolizing these things so much, right? That is a perfect example of putting something on a pedestal. You've put a sport or a particular team on a pedestal and literally has that type of influence over you. So that's kind of what I'm talking about, right? When I say putting something on a pedestal. It'd be one thing if these people even know who you were and cared about you, but they don't. They have their own lives they're living. They don't know who you are at all. And yet here we are, so idolizing them so much, and we know, and especially this is for the fellas. I'm not saying women don't watch sports, but this is, especially for the guys. We know all the stats, we know these players, we know everything there is to know about them, how much money they make. I used to be that guy. And it's like, okay, who cares? They don't know who you are or care about you like that, right? And if they make millions of dollars, okay, how does that affect me? Like, they've never paid a bill for me before. Why should I let them have that kind of influence on my life? They have never called me to say hello to me. They don't know who I am. They've never paid a bill. They've never contributed. Well, I wouldn't say they've never contributed because, if you're a fan, you get a sense of joy from your team winning, right? So that is a contribution, right? But they are not actively playing any sort of role in my life. Why am I giving it that much energy? So if you're somebody who's watching this, and this is not just sports, you can apply this to anything that you put on a pedestal, right? Take a look at it and really examine that. Ask yourself why. Why do you place that thing above you and make it look like it's an idol almost, right? And make that decision that it's time to let it go, if you want to let it go anyway. If you've reached that point where you realize that it's drawing too much energy out of your life and you need to let it go, then let it go. If you don't want to let it go completely, step away from it for a little bit. If you're like a super serious sports fan and you can't do without watching your team or whatever, step away from it for a little bit. And just see. And over time, like with anything else, its effect, right? That effect that it has on you starts to wane. It starts to slowly decrease over time. That's what I did, and now, yeah, I mean, if I get a chance to see a game, great. If I don't, whatever. It's not the end of the world. My life isn't changed because of it, whether we win or lose, whatever. I am me. I am grounded regardless of the result, right? So how can we apply this idea to every area of our lives? Anybody that's watching this, ask yourself that question when you get a chance. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. I think it's a very important topic, because we put so many things above us. If you really take a look, so many things, and some of it we don't even realize we're doing. How much what we spend money on. Sometimes we determine what we put, on a pedestal, right? If it's a house, if it's whatever it is, right? Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't invest in things, right? If you have a house, you want to invest in it, make sure that it's upkept and all that. So I'm not saying that nobody should do that. But what I'm saying is that the moment we start to place those things above us, that's a problem. You know, because whether we realize it or not, we are voting every single day. And when I say voting, I'm saying voting where we're going to put our energy. Every single day, we're casting the vote. We're casting the vote of where we're placing our energy. So where we place our money, where we place our time, where we place our attention, it's all a vote. Every single one of them is a vote, right? And if you're doing that every day and you're not casting a vote for yourself, and when I say yourself, I'm not talking about the ego. I'm not talking about the external things. I'm talking about yourself as in you internally, who you truly are, right? And what are the ways that you can cast a vote for yourself? Self-care. If you need to go get that massage, go get that massage. Okay? If it's that amazing drink or whatever it is, that super healthy drink you want to buy, go buy it. If it's the gym, go to the gym. Whatever that is, you are casting a vote for yourself in that moment. Because ultimately, all these things that we wrap ourselves around, all those things are never going to outlast us. We are limitless beings that exist forever. You know, we may leave this physical vessel at some point, but the true us lives on forever. We can never be created nor destroyed. So we are everlasting, literally, right? So the idea that we put things that have an expiration date, things that are going to break, things that are going to be destroyed eventually above ourselves, right, is the saddest thing to me. It took me a while to come to this kind of realization, but now I realize that. You know, I realize that none of these things, everything that we see on the planet, it's all here for us as human beings. So the moment that we put those things above us, man, we're making a mistake. We are making a mistake. Now, this may sound controversial, and this, you know, people may feel some type of way when I say what I'm about to say, but whatever, I don't care. That's just my opinion. You don't like it, that's on you, okay? But consider it, okay? Pay attention, because your ego may say that you don't like it, but, you know, just let it marinate, you know, process it a little bit. We human beings, if you ask me, okay, not even if you ask me, I think this is a truth without a doubt. We human beings are the apple of the eye of the Creator. We are the one thing, right, or the one creation that supersedes every other creation. If you look throughout the texts or the spiritual books that's out there, it says it. We are the apple of the eye of the Creator, God, source, whatever. So there is no reason why we should put anything above us, anything at all. We can like things, we can love things, we can respect things and people, right? We can have admiration for things, admiration for nature, but even nature is not above us. As majestic as it may be and amazing as it may be, right? Nature's not above us. All those things, the nature and all that, was created for us as human beings. Like I said, some people may feel some type of way about it, but hey, that's me. I embody that idea now, and I accept that idea now. You know, now we can believe in this without being arrogant, right? So just because I'm saying this doesn't mean we should go around mistreating animals or plants or other things. I'm not saying that, you know. And even that, if we're to do that, we are actually what is the expression that I want to use? We are actually disobeying the universal law, which is do no harm, right? So we don't want to go doing that because that's not productive, right? But we can have that confidence about ourselves that we are the greatest manifestation of God on, especially on this earth anyway. There is no being that comes above us on this earth. And we can step into life with that kind of confidence. But also at the same time having an appreciation for all the things around us, all the things that has been created by source, God, the most high, whatever term you want to use. Okay. I mean, this conversation can go into a whole nother, but I will leave it alone for now. Thank you all for watching. I love you all very much. I hope you gain some value from these videos, because I'm gaining some value from these videos. You know, as I'm doing them, you know, and I go back and I listen to them, I'm getting a lot of value. I'm actually learning a lot, you know, from doing these. So I am grateful that I can be of service to you all in this way. If you want to know other ways that I can be of service, other ways that I'm providing value, look in the description and find out other ways that I could be of service to you. Okay. This is one of the ways that I am of service through this YouTube channel, that I provide value, but I provide value in other ways as well. So just check out the description, see if there's anything that is of anything there that is of interest to you. Okay. So I'll let y'all go. Y'all have a wonderful day, and I will see you on the next video. All right, my fellow breakaway thinkers, I love you all. Goodbye.